Hey everyone, it's Ping here from Formula Delta Performance Solutions. We're here with another product update. If you haven't seen the previous product update or the journey to get here, please take a look at some of these video links that we'll be attaching. But the point of this video is to provide another update on the progress that we've made since the last one, give you some ideas as to where we are in terms of the manufacturing process, continue to talk about header compatibility, as well as other compatibilities of components around the oil pan. And of course, we'll also give an update on the early access testing and how you can get involved. All right, update on the header compatibility. Since our last update, we have gotten 3 more scans. Thank you for the following people. We got some reach outs through Instagram for these 2 headers. The first one up is the HKS turbo header. We definitely clear the oil pan with the HKS turbo header. And there's also provisions on the pan where you can incorporate a turbo oil return. So that is perfect for this use case. Next, we were able to get a scan of a JDL unequal length, not catted header. This header also clears the oil pan. There's lots of room there. So we are also happy to say that the JDL unequal length, non-catted header also fits the high capacity oil pan. This is where things get a little bit more nuanced. We got a scan of a first generation Tomei unequal length header. This is the one where the pipe diameter was 42.7 millimeters. It was made available on the Gen 1 twins, so the FA20. And this one's a little bit nuanced because we have a clearance of a millimeter, through manufacturing tolerances, and if your engine is not, or if just manufacturing tolerances in general, it's too tight to say that we're going to guarantee fitment. If you're okay with grinding off a little bit of the oil pan or a little bit of the header to make that space reasonable, we think that it would be very close to fitting. Which brings us to the need for more header scans. We're specifically looking for some of the JDL catted products. We're always looking for more compatibilities. So if you have any of these products and you're able to provide a scan, or if you're in the local Greater Toronto area and you have these products, I will make a trip to you and try to get 3D scans of these headers. We've gotten a 3D scanner to a point where we can do this remotely and do it mobily. So I can come over to you and get those scans into the computer. So we want to make sure that we get as much compatibility information on this oil pan as possible. Here's an update on the early access testing. We had some people reach out that were very promising, and we're starting those conversations on how to get them an early access oil pan. But there's still allocation for more. So if you have a vehicle that has oil pressure logging capabilities and you're able to track the car in the next couple months, preferably January, February, and March timeframe, please reach out to us. We would love to get you a early access pan so that you can do some testing. And the main goal of this is that at the end of the day, we get some data from or get some of your feedback, but you will also be able to own the pan at the end. There will be discounts provided for these early access testers. This pricing will be a lot cheaper than the group buy. So if you also want a deal at the same time, please reach out to us. I think we can work together on this. Onto the manufacturing update. We actually received the first batch of pre-production samples. We started with design verification tests, and we were evaluating the material, the casting, the machining quality. Unfortunately, there are areas that we weren't quite happy with. It's not up to the quality standards that we were hoping for. We're actively working with the manufacturer to improve these areas, whether through small design changes or manufacturing improvements in their processes. What that means for you is that there's going to be a delay in getting the pre-production samples that we're happy with by roughly a month. With the holidays coming up and all the shipping delays and whatnot, maybe add a little bit more time on top of that. But you can be assured that we're working really hard to try and bring a quality product to you. If we're not happy with the product, we're not going to be sending them out to testers. So just to be transparent, there's a delay in terms of the manufacturing, and we're trying our best to try and provide a product that is of high quality that we're confident in providing to the community. On top of that, we are carrying out secondary evaluations with the pre-production pans that we did receive, things like destructive testing to see whether there are any porosity in the casting, pressure testing of the pans themselves, and of course the dimensional accuracy of the various machine components. In the meantime, we're still contacting with our early access testers. We're having meetings to figure out when track testing is happening so that we can get them in oil pan installed and tested in the next couple months. Because of these manufacturing things, we have a bit of a dilemma, or we're at a crossroad. On one hand, we have lots of supporters and people in the community asking when this is going to be available. They can't wait to get their hands on the high capacity oil pan. On the other hand, we don't actually have the finalized product that we're happy with and up to the quality standards that we set for ourselves. But here is a question for the community. Do you want us to just open up the pre-orders and then continue to work through these manufacturing issues while we're collecting pre-orders? There's a minimum order quantity to be able to kickstart this process anyways. If we do generate enough pre-orders in the next couple months before we send out the finalized production run, then great. So that's a question for the community. We would love to hear your thoughts. If you can comment in the video or reach out to us. We have lots of people who have asked to put their emails into our database so that we can send out updates on this product, but we're trying to figure out what's the best path forward. So love to hear your feedback. First of the frequently asked questions, does the oil pan come with baffles? It does. The oil pan will come with baffles that are integrated into the oil pan, along with trapdoors that will prevent oil starvation and provide the performance you need, as well as the added capacity you need from the pan. Another question that we've been asked, does this high capacity oil pan require additional baffles, or can you use additional baffles with this high capacity oil pan? We do not currently recommend additional baffling on top of the baffles that's already included in the high capacity oil pan. We know there are many products on the market which bolt in between the upper oil pan and the lower oil pan. We do not think those are necessary with our oil pan because there's already a integrated baffle that is of this that would serve the similar purpose. So doubling up, we do not think will have additional benefits. Is there any maintenance associated with this high capacity oil pan? To answer this question, we'll start by saying that during the development process of this oil pan, we looked at various trapdoor solutions, some of which, for example, like rubber flap trapdoors, do not explicitly say they need to be changed, but through OEMs who have used these trapdoors, especially in the Lotus products, it is recommended that they be changed on a 24 months interval. Even though it is used in a vertical wall, they recommend a 24 months replacement interval. So during the initial prototype stage, we used rubber trapdoors, but for the production version of the oil pan, we will be moving to a metal trapdoor, metal hinge style trapdoor specifically, that will not require replacement on a 2, 3, or 4 year interval. These should be a one-time installation and should not require maintenance beyond changing your oil. Will there be an oil drain back for my turbo kit or my supercharger kit or whatever aftermarket products that require an oil drain back? The answer to that is yes. there are provisions on the oil pan where you can add additional bungs and or incorporate oil drain back in locations that should be quite convenient for turbo kits that are currently on the market. Another question that we've been asked many times now, but we will answer it again. How much is the oil pan going to cost? We can say right now that it's going to be definitely under $1,000. If anything, it will be way less than that. We're looking at pricing that should be very competitive with what is out there on the market, and it should provide a very good option in terms of pricing. Another question that's been asked is, when is this oil pan going to be available? We are currently aiming for a early spring delivery date. The group buy will be launching hopefully soon, and we will be sending those out. And the production timeline on those is roughly 2 months or so. So we're still aiming to be able to get all these oil pans or all the group buy oil pans out in early spring, just in time for the 2025 track season. This next question is great. We heard it a couple times because the people in the community are trying to help, but they don't have access to a 3D scanner. The question is, will taking pictures and sending them to you be enough to verify fitment of a specific exhaust header with the high capacity oil pan? Unfortunately, it is very difficult to do so without a 3D model. Ideally, we would love to see a 3D scan. We want to absolutely verify that the exhaust header will fit with the oil pan before we explicitly say that a exhaust header will fit the oil pan. So taking pictures is helpful, but it does not provide the certainty and the confidence that we need to say an exhaust header will fit an oil pan. The next step from that question is, if you have any scans or if you have access to any 3D scanning facilities and or you can get your header 3D scanned, we would love to take a look and be able to verify whether they fit the high capacity oil pan.